Today, I'm flying with British Airways in business class. And no, this isn't a review of the amazing new Club Suite. Instead, we're diving into the ancient 20-year-old Club World seat. You might be surprised to hear that even in 2025, your odds of getting this seat are still pretty high. So how can you find out if you're likely to end up with it, and what can you expect if you do? Stick with me as I break down the fleet data, your chances of flying with BA's older seat, and give you a full, no-nonsense review of British Airways' oldest long-haul business class seat. And as usual, I'll also be doing a giveaway at the end of the video. So let's circle back to the start of my trip at London Heathrow. Flying British Airways in business class comes with a few perks to make your journey smoother. You've got a dedicated business class check-in area, an upgraded luggage allowance allowing you to check in 2 items, each up to 32 kilograms. You've also got fast track through security and of course, access to the lounges. Once I'd taken care of all the formalities, I headed straight into the South Lounge. According to the lounge occupancy monitor, it was the least crowded option at the time. Since it was breakfast, I started my time in the lounge with a cappuccino to get my caffeine fix. The lounge offered the usual suspects, plenty of fresh fruit, cereals, hot and cold items, and English breakfast staples. And if you're feeling bold, the bar is open early for those who want to kick things off with something a little stronger. For me though, it was about the classics, sausages, bacon and hash browns, which hit the spot. Now we were departing from Seagates, which meant taking the transit rail. It's a quick hop from the lounge and takes about 15 minutes to get there at a leisurely pace. After taking the transit and heading up to the escalators, we arrived to see our big bird for the day, the amazing A380. It would be taking us to Dubai. Now if you're flying British Airways business class and you're on their A380, here's a very important detail. You are guaranteed to get the older Club World seat, not the newer Club Suite. None of BA's A380s have been fitted with the Club Suite yet. This is a small but significant detail that British Airways doesn't mention on their website. As we head into 2025, the A380s are all still equipped with the older business class seat, even though the Club Suite is what they advertise as their flagship product on their website.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
56 straight across.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. Okay.
First impressions? Well, it's definitely not the Club Suite, and it's clear this seat is well past its sell-by date. I was seated at the very front of the cabin, and the first thing I noticed was just how open the seat felt. It didn't offer much in the way of privacy. As I settled in, I was offered a glass of champagne. Now, these seats are arranged in a yin and yang design, meaning you can end up directly facing another passenger. While there are dividers, you're not allowed to raise them until after takeoff. Luckily though, for me, I was sat opposite someone I'm very fond of, so it wasn't an issue this time. However, bear in mind, during busy periods at London Heathrow, it can take around an hour to taxi from the gate, take off and reach cruising altitude. Now that's a long time to be staring directly at another passenger. It could actually feel quite awkward. On a more positive note, I was then handed my White & Company amenity kit, which I'll be giving away. To enter, you just need to do 2 things. Firstly, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and second, let me know in the comments if you think it's high time British Airways rolled out the Club Suite across their entire long-haul fleet. Shortly after that, I was handed a warm towel, which was a nice refreshing touch before takeoff. Now unfortunately, I don't have any takeoff footage for this flight. Since we booked a little late, all the window seats had very sadly gone. So I sat back, watched the safety video and enjoyed the taxi and takeoff from my aisle seat. Once we reached cruising altitude, I wanted to test out the bed. At the seat, there's White Company bedding, including a pillow, a mattress topper and a blanket. Once I got it all set up, it was quite comfortable, though I couldn't ignore how exposed the seat felt to the cabin. Being sat at the very front of the cabin, near the toilet, didn't help either. People were brushing past me for most of the flight, so keep that in mind when you're booking your seats for yourselves. After I'd tried the bed, I wanted to go to the toilet, so I went to check them out. The ones on the A380 are absolutely massive. That said, I feel British Airways could have made better use of the space. Now, I'm not expecting extravagant showers like Emirates, but they could have added a little something to give it more of a luxury feel. That said though, they were clean and tidy, so that's a win there for British Airways. When I returned to my seat, the drink service had begun. I went for a cocktail, I opted for a Johnny Ginger and was given a salted snack mix to go with it. About 20 minutes later, the meal service started. Henry went for the salmon, which looked great, while I chose the soup. It came with bread, butter and a red pesto hummus side salad, and I also sampled both of the red wines on offer. For the main, I went with the beef tenderloin and potato gratin. This is where I have to give British Airways a lot of credit. The food on this flight was absolutely top tier. The soup was seasoned perfectly and the beef was honestly as good as the beef I've had in Emirates first class. So yes, the toilets didn't have the extravagant shower, but British Airways beef tenderloin is definitely better than Emirates. Everything about the meal, from the flavours to the presentation and also the attentive service from the crew, which were excellent, was absolutely amazing. I'd even go as far to say that this was one of the best business class meal services I've had in a very long time. Now for dessert, there was a choice between bread and butter pudding or chocolate brownie with a salted caramel sauce. Now Henry and I decided to try one of each. While we both preferred the chocolate brownie, the bread and butter pudding with vanilla sauce wasn't bad either. It just didn't steal the show like the chocolate brownie. Once we'd finished eating and the tables were cleared, it was time to kick back and settle in and watch a movie or two. If you do get peckish later, don't worry, there's a snack bar area with crisps, drinks and chocolates available for a light bite. As we approached the final hours of the flight, we were served a light bite consisting of a warm chicken brioche, a side salad and a chocolate muffin. Honestly, after finishing the 3-course meal just earlier, I wasn't really hungry. Still, I gave the brioche a closer inspection and it turned out to be a bit of a letdown. The bread was warm and soft, but the filling was like a cheap chicken spread. It lacked any flavour and felt a little bit uninspiring. The side salad didn't add much either. There was just a few leaves with very minimal effort. Now thankfully the chocolate muffin was a saving grace. It was warm, it was rich and indulgent. It was easily the highlight of the service, and paired with a cup of tea, it made for a comforting and satisfying end to the meal. Henry and I both polished ours off without hesitation, proving that sometimes it's the simple things that leave the best impression. To sum up, this seat needs to be replaced as soon as possible. While the flight itself was good, great food and an exceptional crew, the seat felt outdated and far behind the competition. If British Airways had the club suite on this flight paired with the excellent service and good meal, they'd be closer to competing with the top Middle Eastern airlines. That said, it's 2025 and while club suite is on some aircraft, I feel BA should have pushed even harder to roll it out across their entire long-haul fleet by now. So let's break it down quickly. If you're flying long haul with British Airways from London Heathrow, there's about a 60% chance you'll get the new club suite. However, if you're on an A380, you're guaranteed to have the older seat. The same goes for the Boeing 787-8 and the 787-9, where you'll also find the outdated product. Here's a quick and free way to find out which seat you'll be flying in. Head over to Google Flights and search for your flight date and route. For example, at 12:35, an A380 is listed and it says lie flat seat. This means you'll be flying in the older, more outdated seat. Just below that at 8:40, a Boeing 777 is flying to Dubai and it says individual suite. This means you'll be in the newer club suite. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you again soon. Don't forget to check the video description for the winner of the Emirates First Class Bag and Pyjama Set giveaway from the last video. Take care guys and see you soon.